If you're like me and enjoy collecting photo cards, is an artist or a hobby collector that want to make their own, this is just an alternative, cheaper way to make photo cards at home, or if you want to start selling them in Artist Alley.
Hi, I'm Carla, or better known as GYUPPII. I'm an illustrator and artist, and I specialize in creating fun and cool things. So just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a professional, I'm just an artist and a hobbyist. So some resources do require that you might need a printer or a cutter to be able to make these like photo cards at home. But don't worry if those are not at your disposal. I also researched a couple other affordable options that you can still print outside, so you can still create these at home. There are numerous types of photo card qualities that you're gonna find when you collect. Most of these, unfortunately, are going to be made and printed with high quality or high grade machines. So they're more made for industrial types of quantities. So definitely they'll have resources to better papers and better lamination types. So I definitely recommend finding local printers or researching online, those that are able to print more custom photo cards for you. Because for you to be able to make these at home, the quality is going to be definitely higher and more difficult to achieve because of the lamination and just the paper type. You'll also notice as well that some photo cards are going to be more thicker than others, and some are going to be more flimsy and cheaper in quality. So that really just depends on what kind of material or quality that you're looking for. Again, like PVC, Lomo cards, or any of the other types of photo quality are more highly achievable by high industrial machines. So the quality that you're going to be able to achieve at home might be different depending on the paper and the lamination that you're going to be able to use.
If you are looking to make higher quality photo cards that are not achievable by printing them at home, you can actually find a few resources online where they're already pre-cut and laminated. All you have to do is upload your artwork. So some examples are moo.com, which prints already business cards, postcards, and they already have access to different types of papers and materials as well, depending on your price range. There's also Vistaprint, which does business cards and different types of card quality types, rounded corners, squares, sizes, you name it. So again, these are more professional quality if you're looking to make photo cards. Another resource that I know a lot of people use is Vograce. So they also offer tarot cards or custom game cards, which is basically the same as the holographic photo cards that you find. This is very good if you want to have a higher quantity of photo cards. They cut and laminate them for you, and they also tell you the price and size. So again, if I haven't been able to test these myself, but I've seen other hobbyists and artists that use them as their resources, and they've reviewed that they're really good and decent quality. So if you don't want to make them at home, I definitely recommend looking these places up. Vograce, Vistaprint, and Moo are good resources because they have a certain amount of quantity that you can order. I believe Vograce has the lowest MOQ, which is, I don't know what that stands for. They have a low order requirement, so you can order as low as 10 pieces per order compared to probably Vistaprint or Moo, which will require you to order at least 25 to 50 pieces. So if you're looking to make an even lower amount, Vograce might be a better choice for you. They also give you different types of materials already that you can use to coat your photo cards. So you can do plain, holographic, matte, glossy, and they probably provide the more industrial quality types of laminate and cuts that you can't achieve at home. But again, I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to do these as well. It won't be as high quality, but still pretty close. Here are just some photo cards that I've made myself. As a Honkai Star Rail fan, I wanted to make my own photo cards at home at a low cost and test out my own printing. So I use actually different paper types, but please remember that you need to have double-sided photo paper, so in order to be able to print on both sides. So you can tell that one is thicker than the other. This one is using a much thicker cardstock paper, versus this one is more flimsy. It's a thinner paper, so you can tell that it's already bending, but for the quality itself, the image is still really high quality and I like it, so I don't mind that much of the thickness, but I do like both qualities as well. So what fit my budget the most was the Koala double-sided matte photo paper, and you can tell that one is more off-white than the other, but the quality for vibrancy is still pretty much the same. Because you're going to be printing on it, really it just depends on if you have more white color and if you want it to be more accurate, but I print on both sides and you can still tell that the image is still very vibrant and really clear, so again that just depends on your inkjet printer. And another thing to note is that the Koala paper is going to be in 48 lb or 180 grams. That just basically tells you the thickness and the weight of the paper. So notice that this one is more flimsy, it's thinner. So obviously when you're going to laminate it and create smaller photo cards, it tends to warp on my end, so they do bend just a little bit, but it's not enough for me to be like that this is a bad photo card or paper. I think the quality is still really good, even though it's thinner. And then for higher quality, I definitely recommend Red River paper in Aurora Art Natural 300. They have other paper types as well, so if you prefer different whiteness or thickness, they have a whole online selection for you to pick from. But I really enjoyed these. I tend to actually use these as my prints paper, and I realized that they're double-sided, that you can print on both sides, so I thought, oh, I could print photo cards on these, and they're definitely much thicker. So these don't warp or bend as easily as the Koala paper, and they're much thicker and have the same, I'd say, thickness and quality as real photo cards after you laminate them. But again, these ones are more expensive for my wallet, even though they're nice. But definitely if you're interested in Red River, they have their own website, and the Koala has their own website, but you can also access them on Amazon. So the printer that I own is an Epson EcoTank 8550, and this is just actually the larger size compared to the 8500. But basically, if you have a inkjet printer, then you should be able to handle printing cardstock and any types of photo paper. So I'm just going to be loading my two different types of photo paper into the rear feeder of my printer. So I have both the Koala and the Red River Natural. So these are just going to go in here. And then now it's ready to be printed. Okay, let's get into setting up your photo cards onto the template. So you can find a lot of photo card templates online, and many are available for free. Normally you can search up K-pop specific printable templates which fans use to print their own photo cards. I made my own simply because I just wanted to maximize the space on one sheet that I can print at home. I also made this template available on my GUMROAD for free, which you can find in the description below. You're also welcome to donate any amount you want if you just enjoy the template or the content that I'm providing. So basically, in this template, I did not account for bleed cuts, so these are going to be exact 2.5, 3.5 inches. Normally, bleed print will add a few extra, 0.25 to 0.75 inches to the photo card. So imagine if these were extended to the prints so that they're still able to cut the edges without leaving a border. I would just be aware of this when printing, to not leave any important details or text on the edges of your photo or artwork when placing your image on the template. If you're also okay with cutting directly on the edge of the photo, then this template's usable. Again, I made this at home to fit my needs. You're welcome to adjust it accordingly to what fits your photos best. But maybe in the future, I'll try to update the template to include bleed cuts. So anyway, what you want to do is you want to place your photos into the template in separate layers. So we're just going to add our new photos in here. So I have a Honkai Star Rail artwork. This is Sunday, and I want to put him into the template in here. And what I have is separate layers. So I'm going to move Sunday under so that I know where he's going to get cut and resize it according to the template. So I always try to go a little bit over the edge so that I won't have extra borders around the artwork. So here you can just zoom in as well to make sure that nothing else important is cut off. And I see that he fits in here, so that's cool. And all I do here is just duplicate the layer, hold shift so that you can move the artwork over without, you know, separate, like, yeah, it'll slide over. And you just do the same here again. So you can do different photos. I have other artwork as well that you can put. Here's another star rail photo. So I'll paste him here again and just resize it to however you want it without the borders getting cut. There you go. All I do is just shift them over so that they fit under the template. And just copy and paste these over here. Perfect. Okay, so now you can see if you zoom in that all the artwork are straight to the edge, so that's good. And also in the template as well, I included black or white because obviously when you print it, you probably want it white just so you're able to cut the borders. Black will probably use more ink anyway, so I just included that as like a visual reference. You're welcome to print both, whatever suits your fancy. So now that this is finished, I'm just going to go ahead and save this. So you can export it as a JPEG or PNG. I just like to do PNG because it's just a higher quality for me. So there's your front side that you're going to be able to print. Alright, so now that you have your front photo card set up, if you're just going to be printing the front, then you don't have to worry about setting up the back. But if you are, just remember that it's going to be flipped when you print it out. So remember that the artwork on this side, when it comes out, then you flip it, the back side is going to match to the one on the opposite side. So here I just have the back designs for my artwork. So what I'm just going to do here is that I'm going to paste it again. So I created separate folders for the back and front designs just so I know which page I'm on. And what I'm just going to do here is that Sunday is going to match with Sunday. So I'm just going to again adjust these artwork images to match which character they are, and I'm going to do that for all of the 9 photo cards on my page. And I'll show you again when I print it out so you know what I mean when you flip it, that the back has to match the front side. Probably a better setup to understand the back side of photocard printing. So here on this page, I have 9 different characters. And again, if you're just printing the front, then you're okay. But if you're going to be setting up the back to match the characters on the front, just know that it is flipped. So when you set them up, they're going to be on opposite sides. So as you can see here, I have Danhung, but Danhung is going to be printed on the right side. So I switch the spot that he's in, and same goes for Sampo. Sampo is on this side, so obviously when you flip him, he's going to be here on the back side to match him. And again, I'll show you this when I print it out so that you can see that they should match what is printed on the sheet. Okay, so now that your paper is loaded onto your printer, in terms of print settings, I will show you right here. So we're going to be printing the front side of the photo cards. So once you click print, you're just going to go into the default options of whatever your computer has set up to. And you're going to go into printer properties. So here I just have the preset. So I want to make sure that's going to take the paper from the back. So I have it set to rear, and then you want to set your size. So we have the basic document letter 8.5 by 11. And don't forget to set your printer settings to borderless. This is going to maximize the cards and make sure that the printer itself doesn't add a border, because otherwise your cards will shrink to a different size. If you're okay with that, that's fine. Just leave it off. But for me, I want to do it borderless so I can maximize the print size page. Make sure to set it to portrait. And the paper setting type that I like to use is Premium Presentation Paper Matte. You can also use Presentation Paper Matte. Other people recommend printing on photo paper, premium paper, photo paper, but these are for glossy. So just make sure that you know what type of printer settings or printer paper that's most compatible with you. And you're going to set it to high. So if it's standard, it's going to print faster, but if you set it to high, it's going to take its time to print to make sure that the quality and the details are very vibrant. And as well, I also check the color options. So when I print my prints and my photo cards, I increase the saturation and brightness. This just makes the colors pop way more. You have to take into account that your photo cards are going to be laminated. So the lamination does have some film that will make it less vibrant. So if you print on a higher saturation and then laminate your photo cards, it should come out to semi the correct color of what you want it to come to. Again, it's up to you how you want to set your colors and preferences, but these are just the settings for mine. So I leave it at 5 brightness, 3 contrast, 5 saturation, and 2 density. This is just me playing around with my paper. Sometimes I do like to up the brightness and saturation more when I have really dark photo cards. So I might want to kick up the brightness a notch just so the ink is not so dark when it prints out. But that's pretty much it. So I leave it at that. And once you're ready, you're just gonna be printing. Oh, and make sure to also do bi-directional printing. So in this setting, this is how you're gonna be flipping your artwork in the top side so that the back aligns with the artwork as well. All right, so now that it's ready, just go ahead and hit print and it's gonna go to your printer. Alright, now that it's done printing, you can pull it out and see the vibrancy for the quality of the printer paper. This is the koala printer paper, so you can see that it's super vibrant. I like the quality and it's dark, but remember that this is going to be laminated. And what I like to do as well, since it just came out of the printer, is that I want to put it on something flat, just because when it's wet, it'll warp. So it's not going to stay completely flat. Make sure to take it out of the printer bed. But for me, since I still have to print the other side, what you want to do is when you're going to feed it, it comes out this way. You're just going to flip it in that same bi-directional printing. So now the back will still align to whatever artwork you have on the front. So I'm just going to load it there and then print on the back. Alright, and now that it's done printing, you're just going to take it out and you can see that the artwork is aligned with the back side as well. So we have Sunday on the top, Aventurine in the middle, and Sunday again on the bottom, and that they're aligned on the back. Alright, now I'm just going to show my typical lamination process. So again, you're going to be wanting to laminate the front and the back of your photo card to get that glossy or hollow finish on both sides. So this is just a sample of what it's going to look like after it's cut. And these are the laminates that I have. So for our photo cards, I have the Avery. This is the self-adhesive laminating sheets, and they come in 50 packs on Amazon. I think it's affordable enough. You can also get the rolls or an off-brand, as long as it's glossy, matte, hollow, whatever you prefer. And then I also use the Bladeruk? Oh gosh, sorry if I butcher it. I use Bladeruk hollow laminate sheets, so I just use the case for the Avery. But these are gonna come in hollow laminate, and you're gonna be able to apply these as well. There's a ton of hollow laminate resources online. You're welcome to choose whichever one you want. These are just the ones that I choose that I found affordable and the quality suits my tastes. So what you want to do here is that you're going to pull back the tab just so you have a little bit of laminate peeled back, just like that. And we're going to peel just a little bit back just so we have a pull tab. And what I like to do is I like to cut this part off. There you go. So now you have a part of the section of the laminate revealed. And what you're gonna do is you're going to just lay your photo paper on a flat surface right here. Make sure there's no dust, because again we're going to be laminating, so you don't want any dust to be showing up underneath your laminate. And what I like to do is make sure that you align part of the laminate that can be seen to the table. So you're going to align it. And again, because my template is maximized, you're definitely going to have parts that won't be laminated. Maybe in the future I'll make a better laminate, or better template, but for now this is just my at-home quality. So you're going to align to make sure some of the laminate applies to the photo paper and to the table. And what I also like to use is that you can get a felt squeegee. You can also use a roller or a ruler just to make sure you have a flat edge surface. And you're just going to align it here to make sure that the laminate is secured onto the table and to the photo paper. And then what you're gonna do is peel this back right here and roll it a little bit. So now this becomes your pull tab, and you're going to flip the laminate up right here and put your squeegee underneath, and all you have to do is push. So you want to do this quickly, just like that. So now that it's aligned, all you have to do is flatten out your laminate, and there you go. And this is what I mean by having a clean surface. Sometimes you'll have dog hair. If you have pets, just make sure you don't have any hair underneath. And sometimes you're gonna get wrinkles. So sometimes when you apply laminate, it's not gonna be perfect. That's okay. So these ones will just be B grade for me. And then since we're laminating the backside, I like to just trim the excess laminate off of the sheet. This just helps so it doesn't re-stick to the laminate that we're gonna apply on the back. And then we're also gonna trim off the excess here. Alright, and then you can see that the laminate size is not gonna apply completely. You can find bigger laminate, but this is just the one that I have, and it's gonna be cut off anyway, so that's okay. And now we're gonna apply laminate on the back side. So the nice thing about the Avery sheets is they're actually a little bit bigger than the letter size, so for sure it'll cover the photo paper. You can use Avery on both sides. I just like to have a hollow on the front. And we don't have to cut this, which is nice, because they already have a pull tab for you. So you just have to peel this off right here. And then we're just gonna do the same thing again. So align your photo paper and your laminate sheet with the peeking laminate out. Make sure you just align it to the table and the photo paper. Then use your squeegee right here. Make sure it's stuck, and then all you have to do is pull back again, just like last time. So you're gonna push just a little bit to make sure some of the laminate is pullable, just like that. And then all you're gonna do is put your squeegee underneath and push. And just like that, it will apply evenly. Then flatten it out. And that's it. So now you have a laminated on both sides photo cards that we can now cut. Please note again that when you're making photo cards at home, you're bound to have mistake copies. So here I accidentally ripped off too much of the laminate, and I'll have more like rip-offs right here. And sometimes I'll apply the laminate incorrectly, so we're gonna have bends that we just can't take out. That's just part of, you're gonna have mistakes when you print at home. And if you don't want to make mistakes, or just rather a professional will handle it, I recommend just outsourcing it. And again, this is just, another way for you to make lower quantity copies at home. So how I usually cut these, you can also just use a scissor if you don't have a cutter. I actually have a slide cutter or an straight edge cutter that a friend gave me, but you can find these anywhere on Amazon or Walmart. And all I do is that I align the photo cards here so that I'm able to cut the edges off. One thing to note though is that you want to make sure that your edges are aligned straight so that when you cut it, it will cut evenly. So notice that here is the cut line, and this is where I want to align it to. So obviously this is where bleed comes in. Mine are all the way to the edge. So if you want to use a template with bleed so that you can cut a little bit over the artwork, that's just an easier way. But here I do go a little bit over just so I don't get a white border on the cuts of my photo cards. And all you have to do is just cut, so just straight like that. And then now you have a perfect straight edge cut on your photo cards. And I just do the same for all the edges. So here you can see that there is some white edge and I want to cut that off. So I'll just cut that here. I'll go a little bit past the artwork and then just cut. Obviously, again, trim accordingly to how you want your photo cards to be, and just do the same for here. And then how I achieve these round edge corner cuts is that I actually have a round edge corner cutter. You can also get this on Amazon or anywhere online, but basically this is able to cut the corner edges of your photos or paper, and all you do is use that size, and now you have a corner cut. So I just do that for all of my photo cards, like this. And now you have a round edge cut photo card. So what I have here is a hot laminator. If you want to take a step ahead on your cards to make sure that they're perfectly laminated and get rid of any of those lamination bubbles because you're using cold laminate. Mine is pretty old. As you can see here, I've had mine since 2011. But this is just, you can find Scotch laminators in Walmart and Amazon as well as online. They're not super expensive, but I'm pretty sure if you want to find, you know, any higher quality cold and hot setting laminates, they're probably going to be a little bit more expensive. It gets the job done if you just want to laminate any laminated goods. So you can see here that it is compatible with 3 ml and 5 ml, which is just the thickness of plastic that it's able to take in. I'm not sure what the mil would be for the photo cards that we're feeding because it depends on the thickness of your paper as well. But since both the front and the back side are laminated, it should be able to handle it. Again, this is really old. It's a hot thermal laminator, but it gets the job done if you just want to melt the plastic. And switch it on. So the hard part about this laminator is that it takes a lot of heat up because it is a hot laminator. Just to show you that photo cards, after they get laminated, just know that it is heated up, so they will start to warp. And that's just part of it compared to if it's just cold laminate. You can see that it hasn't warped yet. I don't know if you can see it, but after it's laminated, you're not gonna have bubbles, but before it's laminated, it's not completely applied onto the artwork. The nice thing about the hot laminator is that it's gonna melt that plastic to fill in all of the papers. Here's just an example of a laminated photo card versus a non-laminated photo card. I'm not sure if you can really tell, but when it's not laminated, it's a little bit blurry and the artwork is just not going to be as clear. Versus when it is laminated, you can see that the green pops out way more. Again, it's a very subtle difference, but if it's something that you want to take a step further, you're welcome to laminate them. My laminator gets pretty hot, so sometimes I don't wait for it to actually be completely ready and it's ready to be fed into there because, again, I'm just laminating small photo cards and not a full pouch. I'm okay with it not being completely hot. So all you gotta do is just toss these cards in from the back feeder, and there's a roller already inside to make sure that the cards come out. So you just toss them in here. And make sure that when you take it out, again, you can see that the quality is much better and the artwork is more clearer. When I take it out, because it's hot and the paper is gonna warp, I try to take something heavy like this acrylic block of Jimin and put it on top of the photo card so that when it cools down flat. So I just do that for all of my photo cards, just anything heavy and flat. This is the thicker Aurora paper that I showed earlier. You can also feed this into the thermal laminator since it can handle up to 5 mil. And this is the one where I haven't laminated the back yet. So if you can see the plastic white dots in the back where it's not completely applied. So if you toss this in here, you can see that now we don't get those same dots. It got laminated, and now that you have the photo card or the plastic more directly applied to the paper. I hope this tutorial helped you, and these are just how I make my photo cards at home. Thank you! Bye!